Hello, my name is Frank and I am doing a report on the overweight epidemic in America. I'm also trying to push to get people to eat healthy and exercise. Just to give you some quick statistics to catch your attention, 1.5 billion adults are overweight worldwide, 500 million are obese, 850 million are underweight or starvation, as some of them may be put. So in other words, we have 2 billion people in the world that are overweight or obese, and 850 million people in the world that are suffering from starvation or are underweight. Which is the bigger problem? In the United States, 1 in 3 people are obese, 1 in 3 people is overweight. So that means 2/3 of the United States population is either overweight or obese. Another thing, to eat healthy and exercise. Now, going by this chart, this is an interesting chart. I just want to show you some of the growth in the obesity in the United States. If you look at these figures, these go back over the last 30 years. If you look from 1988 to 2000, the obese numbers in the United States jumped from about 10 million up to about 30 million. So in other words, it tripled. If you got any good news out of this chart at all, would be around 2000 the numbers started to even off a little bit. But from 1971 to 2000, look at the jump there. That's huge. Another thing, to eat right and exercise. This is another chart of obesity just in the United States. In the early 70s, 4% of children were obese, 6% of adolescents. In 2008, 32 states had an adult obesity prevalence rate of more than 25%. That's not overweight, that's obese. In the 70s, 15% of adults were obese. So those are just some numbers how it grew from the 70s up to 2008. I know I went out of order there. Some of the causes of being overweight can be your genes. Some people just have larger fat cells. Hormone imbalances, eating habits, and lifestyle. A lot of lifestyle is your exercise. As we went through the years, if more people have cars, we move less. So that's going to make a big effect on obesity and overweight. The definition that's been accepted by the CDC for adults 20 years and older is if you have a BMI of 25 or higher. BMI is basically your weight in pounds divided by your height in inches squared, and then you times that by 703. It sounds confusing, but it's a pretty easy formula. But a normal BMI is 18 to 24, overweight is 25 to 29.9, obese is 30 and up. Then you get into morbidity, which we're not going to get into here. Some BMI links that I'm sharing with all of you. You all should have the handout of the PowerPoint presentation. Here's some links you can actually go on to look up your BMI and understand how to figure that into how your health is. Now, like I said, the BMI has been accepted for about since the 1950s by the CDC. However, they're noticing that just because somebody's BMI is within an acceptable limit doesn't mean that they're out of danger of being overweight. There's a thing called the Abdominal Central Obesity Measurement Guidelines. Some people call it the apple-shaped body or the pear-shaped body. Men get apple-shaped bodies, generally women get pear-shaped bodies. However, women can still get an apple-shaped body. This is what they call visceral fat, the fat that sits on your organs. This fat is extremely dangerous because it moves throughout your body. It causes different things like gallstones, heart attacks. It's just a really bad thing. That can be avoided by exercise and eating right. So you should always be concentrating on exercising and eating right. Now, the Abdominal Central Obesity Measurement Guidelines for the American Heart Association, the waist circumference, a woman's waist should stay under 35 inches. Once you're over 35 inches, you're like 3 times more likely to die from some kind of a heart disease. Men are 40 inches and under. International Diabetes Federation, women are 31.5 inches, so it's a little bit smaller. Men are 35.5 inches. So there's a little bit of difference there. Like I said, they still use the BMI, but this is slowly but surely coming into effect. The health risks, just to give you an idea, I'm not going to go to every age group, but the health risks for a woman with a waist of over 35 inches, the risk increases steadily with every added inch, but there are 2 times double the risk for heart disease. If your weight is over 35 inches and a woman in the waist, you have 3 times the risk of death from heart disease. That's death. There are a lot of consequences for being overweight. Some of the smaller ones are fatigue, joint problems. Fatigue comes from being tired. Joint problems from carrying extra weight around, digestive disorders. You see a bunch of them right here. Premature aging, it even can promote Alzheimer's disease. Some of the consequences of overweight, the metabolic syndrome. This is what we were talking about, the apple or the pear shape. That is a cluster of the most dangerous heart attack risk factors: diabetes, raised fasting, plasma glucose, abdominal obesity, etc. Eat right, and exercise. Just remember to eat right and exercise. You can avoid all this stuff. More consequences: psychological problems, pressure from peers from not looking good, being called fat, bullying, depression, isolation. Some more consequences. A big consequence is the healthcare system. The healthcare system in the United States, in 2006, they estimate obesity costed us over $100 billion. That is huge. So a lot of our taxes are going to that. Just think, eat right, stay healthy, your taxes may go down. The effects on lifestyle trend of overweight across the years. Over the years, we used to hunt for food. Now food is readily available for cheap compared to years ago. We used to normally walk to the store. A lot of people walk to work. Nowadays, you never see that. You drive everywhere. The only time you walk is when you get out of your car, when you get to your destination. The effects, more lifestyle effects. The way we eat. Years ago, men just ate berries, nuts and very lean meat. Nowadays, we have fast food, burger, fries, Coke, everything is saturated fats. Now you have the old food pyramid, which is good. Eat healthy and exercise. Grains, vegetables, fruits, oils, milk and beans. Look at your food pyramid sometime. Physical activity is extremely important. When I say physical activity, that can be walking. You can walk, jog, exercise just a little bit. They say 30 minutes of exercise 5 days a week is enough to get you going. If you have trouble doing that, go for a walk for 30 minutes every day. In conclusion, if you are overweight, you have a higher risk to develop health problems and have a shorter lifespan. Everybody wants to live longer, right? If you're normal weight, keep doing what you're doing, eat healthy, and exercise if you're not. If you're a little bit overweight, make sure you educate your stuff. I gave you guys the PowerPoint presentation that I made this on. That has all this information. Exercise and do anything to avoid getting fat. Make sure to exercise and eat healthy. This has been proven to lead a happier life. That was my presentation of the overweight epidemic. Eat healthy, exercise, and have a great day.